Guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with another online multiplayer team. We have the Entry Hazard team, and we're going to start off with something a bit different. We're actually going to show off a fight which doesn't fit in our two ultimate ladders, but we got footage of, and it's pretty much the perfect fight for this team, so we figured we'd have a little bonus 15th fight.
Right, so where it demonstrates how he's so good with his special one. So, you know what? He's weak. We're going to hit him anyways, and we don't even care.
And we got this team from a comment that we mentioned on our most recent Q&A.
Yeah, Vangelis, and whose last name I'm not going to say because I don't want to butcher it. But, yeah, so despite having killing Joe Joker at the front, Sinestro, Antimatter Sinestro, the ultimate entry hazard guy, because he can force people to swap out every time with his special one.
Mm-hmm.
He also drains their power with special one. And so who is also the perfect entry hazard match is Arkham Knight Harley Quinn. Because there's a chance when the opponent tags in that she will do some damage.
Yeah, so we should be clear, this isn't a full entry hazard team. We haven't loaded it with everything possible to add entry hazards to the game. But this is a team that's meant to be as good as possible, centered around basically forcing people out and doing stuff when they come in.
Right. And Regime Green Lantern is filling out the team simply because power generation is great the more we get to force out the opponent. Yeah. And so you'll see that Antimatter Sinestro is really geared for special one, and the idea of the entry hazard team is it really only exists when you do special one.
Yeah.
But his special two is actually strong enough that it's almost a waste to try to do special one over and over because you won't knock them out. You'll only be able to do it twice. You lose your power. So a lot of times it's actually just as good to do special two, and we'll show you right here, because the range on his special two is good, and he's doing a huge amount of damage, and he's knocked out two guys.
People.
Yeah. So let's drain them. So at this point, this is not an entry hazard team, but when they start off that week in the first fight or so,
it just makes sense to sweep them. If we wanted it to be a slightly more faithful to the entry hazard brand, we would probably put Black Adam instead of Green Lantern.
That's true.
Because he has an entry hazard, but it's his entry, not other people's.
That's right. And it isn't even so much his entry, it's just every time he comes in, if he attacks. Or they attack, right?
Yeah.
So here's another team where the first guy is really weak. So it's a toss-up. You can do special one or special two. Special one is mainly to keep with the theme, but special two is probably going to be more effective because even though we're not doing splash damage, he's got a nice multi-hit special two that's going to have enough to carry over to the next guy. And that what makes a difference is we don't want to get stunned. Ooh. Even just the Touchmaster's Death card was enough. We didn't want to get stunned by the Elseworld 2 team.
Wait, how was Master's
Earth
Death
2,
card enough?
He was weak. They started off really weak. So it's a percentage not based on the opponent, but percentage based on us. So it's the Earth 2 team. Sorry, I said Elseworld. I got Elseworld Flash on the mind. Earth 2 team that can stun on tagging, and so that goes into a bit of the decision as far as, when we start fighting. You can't just stick to one strategy without taking into account your opponents.
Yeah.
But that's kind of wickedly fast. So, and you can also tell that based on the experience that we're getting of 12,000, that we're hitting maximum
battle points
from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman's got a revive from her 4th World Gear set. So it makes it even harder. I think in terms of the fun that you can have with this, I think doing a special two at the first guy, knock them out, get your 2 bars back, and then swap the second 2 back and forth is probably the most efficient strategy, even though you don't get as much splash damage, right? Because when there's 2 guys on the bench, both get splash damage. When there's only one, you're only doing the extra 50%. And hopefully this will be enough to take care of her and her revive. There we go. There's the one, and then here's her revive.
This should be... There we go.
Oh, I didn't get it fast enough. There's too much of a refractor period after special 2.
Yeah. So I think we've seen here what one of the problems is with... Oh, unfortunate. We had the entry hazard, but it didn't apply.
Yeah.
One of the problems is that Tantum Totem and Master's Death Card are just too good. almost.
All right, so my mistake, I made a slight mistake there that was based on strategy. What I thought was, I wasn't I hesitated because I thought it was going to be Gaslight Batman. I did not want to tag in a teammate against Gaslight Batman and take his entry hazard damage.
But you know what I mean, right? Tentacruel Master's Death Card, one of the problems with it is that it makes anything else that uses specials less viable than just hitting hard and killing.
Yes. Oh yeah, it definitely, I mean, like a lot of other gears before, or gear sets, it encourages a certain style of play, right?
Yeah, but because we're using a lot of specials with him, obviously we want to put on that combination.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're demonstrating stuff. See, I remember when League of Assassins gear set was... Oh, good. She's in the first slot. She's no problem at all. League of Assassins gear set, when it first came out. I was trying to ship all the words together. When it first came out, it was broken. And it would trigger not when you tagged in, but every time the opponent tagged out. So you could actually use Antimatter Sinestro infinitely...
Yeah.
Because you would force them to tag out, you would get all their power, and you wouldn't have to tag in again with any Master Sinestro with the League of Assassins gear set. You could just stay there. And we should probably link to the video where we did that originally, but then when they fixed the League of Assassins gear set, that wasn't possible anymore. And the point I was making about that was, though that was another piece of content that really changed the way people were playing, because of the effect of the gear set was so strong, it discouraged any kind of tag-out team.
Yeah, which, and to be fair, tag-out teams weren't good enough that needed to be discouraged. They were just more fun.
Right.
So that was something bad to...
Yeah, and it was a style too, right? So if you're going to have guys that are unbalanced like we do, where each person plays a specific role, it's bad, because then you're going to not want to have a guy who's really good at one thing. You're going to want to have people who are all balanced, so that if you can't tag out, then you're not going to be stuck, right? But I hated that style of play because it meant a whole sort of broad category of teams were just not that viable. But this is...
Ooh, fingers going wild.
Lots of fingers. So this is actually kind of interesting too, because I guess you could play it straight up special 1, but then those fights end up being a little bit longer, because he's gonna not get his power back until you tag out again, and then that's just your 2 specials. That's all right. So we did the special 2 first, and now we're gonna do a couple swap outs
and some good damage with the swap outs.
Yeah, he's gonna be
for sure. There we go.
Oh, nice.
And, ooh,
it got them both.
There's the entry hazard.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure how often Arkham Knight Harley Quinn's passive triggers. Oh, that was only 10 seconds. That was one of the later fights. How often her passive triggers, but it doesn't see. It feels like it's less than half.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's cool about this is that, so now that we know,
him out with the Astro Harness.
Yeah, so he's got the Astro Harness. We don't care if he does damage, and what we want is actually to have Arkham Knight Batgirl in there.
Yeah.
We don't want. Actually, we want anybody except for Deathstroke, because he's the only one that's going to trigger her passive, where if we knock him out, she's going to come in and potentially stun us. So we got to plan it well enough so that... All right, so let's force him out, and we probably don't want to do it again in case he comes back in.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll depend on how this goes. Oh, crap.
Right, but that's okay. So we do the special 2 to make sure that... Oh, even better.
Perfect.
Okay.
And
so she
won't have time to swap out.
Yep, her passive won't engage.
And he's
going to take some damage too.
Astro Harness.
Oh, sweet. And actually, we don't even need our tank now. We're just going to buy ourselves some time while he's invulnerable.
Yeah, because it's a 1 hit.
We're going to get full damage as soon as the shield comes down.
Yeah, full damage, no energy loss, guaranteed.
The only danger will be on his special 1 if he happens to... Oh, that was perfect.
The only danger will be...
If his special 1, because his special can potentially prioritize. If his shield comes down, he's doing a special 1 on us, and he happens to catch us when we're vulnerable.
Yeah, but that would have been even okay still, I think.
Yeah. Harley Quinn. Right, so I was just taking a look at... Okay, so this is a potentially Oh, it's only Green Lantern.
Oh, so just him.
Yeah, now they've made him hardier with fourth row gear set. He's going to have a Godsmack as soon as he comes in because he's got 2 bars. So what we want to do is make sure that when he does come in,
We're swapping him.
we are swapping him out and draining his power because he doesn't have enough. He's only got, I think it was 1 LexCore piece. If he had 2, that would have reversed power drain.
Ooh, yeah.
And Arkham Knight Catwoman, I didn't look. I mean, she's potentially dangerous, but yeah. So we don't actually want to waste all our power on him because we've got the splash damage. We want to hit somebody else because then it's actually going to do more.
We got our 2 bars.
Yeah, because we don't want if somebody's going to take the damage over time, it's going to be Green Lantern, not our main damage dealer.
Yeah. And there we go. Oh, crap.
Oh, that's okay. The rest of it,
Yeah.
force a swap out, and then we will do a ton of damage on Ares and do splash damage on Green Lantern, which is even better. And we'll drain him too at the same time. Oh, sweet.
Never mind. We didn't even need to drain him. Just killed him.
Yeah. Okay, I love that last little bit of damage, that little love tap. And will he have enough? Especially since he's got only 1 bar of health
Not
left.
quite.
That's okay. Now we're gonna bring in Sinestro, do a special 2. Oh, really? You really need to block us? It's inevitable.
Yeah, I'm just prolonging it, really. Well, that's fine. This will get the job done. No?
Oh,
Wow.
he's pretty hardy.
Yeah. That's what happens when you boost health.
Yeah, and more blocking against damage. But
Yeah.
really, the only sort of unbalancing team, not so much unbalancing, but a team that makes you have to rethink your strategy or change your team or your loadout to deal with it, is the Red Sun Green Lantern team.
Mm-hmm.
It slows things down so much.
Red Sun Green Lantern team with Astro Harness.
Yeah. Oh, and it cuts out the one strategy that's viable for every other team, which is boosting crit damage and crit chance, right?
Yeah.
So you lose all of that benefit. Oh, this is kind of a crappy team.
Oh, wow. Why is...
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to waste our energy on a team that's silvers. Because I know that we're not going to get full...
Yeah, how did
battle
it give
points
us
for that.
something that bad?
Yeah, you know it does that sometimes, right? Every once in a while. I think it might have to do with the time between when the matchmaker decides who you're going to fight, and if the guy whose team it is happens to swap out their players. All right, so that's good. Ares. And we know he's not going to have 2 bars because he's the front. Oh, he doesn't even have gear. And he's low health. He's 54. So you know, special 2, force him out, swap the other 2 guys back and forth.
Yeah, that's not a challenging Ares at all.
So how many times is Arkham Knight Harley Quinn's passive triggered?
It's hard to tell. Honestly, we're using a lot of special 2s is the problem, and just knocking people out.
All right, so let's do something different this time.
Yeah. Bye, Ares. And...
Goodbye, Arkham Knight. See what I mean? All right, so if they don't, if we don't knock them out, we need to do a tag out to do it. So we're just gonna use a special one, not because we think it's gonna do a bunch of damage, but just to buy ourselves some time. Ooh, almost 3 bars. He's knocked out. Oh, he's knocked
so
out.
is Ares. Yeah, 1 damage or more. Oh.
There
Yeah,
we go.
we didn't see an Arkham Knight Harley in any of
Right,
that.
so that's what I'm saying. It feels like it doesn't happen that often.
You know what it might be? And this is... It might have something to do with time in between them. It might
What
be
do you
that,
mean?
like, the chance of it happening slowly increases the longer it's been since the effect is already triggered or something like that. Because it seems like it happens a lot more often in regular play.
So you mean like an anti... you know, the one where...
Cheese? That's what it is. It's when you cheese an ability.
Yeah, I guess so. It doesn't sound right, though. It doesn't seem right. It seems, dare I say it, unfair.
But you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
it feels like it happens a much higher percentage of the time in normal play. Right? I mean, this case, it doesn't matter. But there, the fact that it didn't trigger at all. Whatever.
Yeah.
And now it definitely won't trigger.
No. Let's drain him.
Is he blocking?
Nah. Oh, he was. I forgot. Shoot. He must have LexCorp gears. And it didn't matter. It didn't even matter. Yeah, your earlier point, I think, is well taken about how the Tantu Totem and Master's Death card have really changed the way you play. I mean, of course, you could always gear them differently, so it's just damage and a little bit hardier. This one, definitely we don't want to do one, because if Raven tags in, she's going to grab our second bar of power that we're not using, right?
Oh, that's true.
So we almost have to use Special 2 on him, on Flashpoint Batman. But you could always play it differently. It's hard to go back to something to intentionally play a strategy that is more difficult to win.
Yeah, unless it's much more fun.
Right, if there's something that you can see, like, I think I was reading the forums at one point. People were trying to hit, somebody was trying to hit 2 million with Batman Ninja Lord, Batman Ninja Batman's Special 2 that stuns at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that with the Cloak of Destiny, it becomes way more powerful. Oh, good night, Raven. You should have been blocking, although that probably wouldn't have helped you.
We complain if they're blocking. We taunt them if they're not blocking.
This is this is trash talking.
Ooh, some fingers.
Yeah. This is just a little bit of trash talking. So in Justice 2 Superman, we just had to crack him open like a net. Alright, so he's going to dodge Special 2, so we definitely don't want to do Special 2. Well, I don't know. Actually, if he dodges it, I don't know that entirely here, but we can start. I mean, this is what makes Antimatter Sinestro kind of good as our special specialist on this loadout. Is
and
that
Shazam. There's the new Shazam movie.
Oh, with Chuck. What's his name?
Levi.
I want to say, I know it's not Levi Strauss. That's a brand of jeans. And I know his name's not Chuck, but he was in that show, and that's what I identify him most with.
Yeah, but it looks like it's got a more comedic tone, which hopefully as well.
It's different from the whole DC universe. It's all dark, even Titans, right?
Yeah, and is that the one directed by Zack? I know a lot of them are directed by Zack Snyder.
Ooh, it triggered.
Is Shazam going to be directed by Zack Snyder though?
Oh, so he's back because they took him off. Who finished it? Was it Justice League or Suicide Squad that ended up starting with Zack Snyder, and then they had to swap him out for Joss Whedon at the end because he had that, his daughter committed suicide, which was quite tragic.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Nope, David Sandberg's going to be doing it. I don't know who that is. No budget horror short films is what he's best known for. And 2016 directorial debut Lights Out.
I think a lot of movies would benefit from putting in using new talent and not always relying on the tried and true big stars.
Yeah.
All right, so that's funny. They front loaded it with they put Flashpoint Batman in the first slot, but they've loaded Arkham Origins Batman as a danger. So I think this is more of an offensive team where they drop him Arkham Origins Batman in to do a bunch of specials. I'm a little bit curious. I probably should have checked what the strongest guy Arkham Origins Batman's gear loadout was.
We'll see.
Almost doesn't matter. So what's good, actually, other guys, one person who comes to mind is Batman Ninja Batman. The range on his Special 2 is too short, so that if you tag him in and you try to do Special 2 immediately, the second part that doesn't stun whiffs. But Antimatter Sinestro, his range is actually long enough so that you can get your proper Special 2 as soon as he tags in.
Yeah. Which is perfect.
Yeah.
Ideal.
Yeah, so I gotta figure out a way around it because Master's Death card is the second bar of power that will recharge. There's a lot of times where you don't get a knockout and you don't get your full power, and it takes longer to recharge if you're not using it. Yeah. And it also means that the hits from Master's Death card shoves them back a bit, meaning that you have to wait. Whereas with Antimatter Sinestro, you can do it while they're getting knocked around. Oh, interesting. There's the loadout, and he's gonna have the bar because of Batgirl. So Sinestro will have 2 bars, so there's a good chance if he gets a special out, he's not gonna shove us, but we are gonna shove him, and we're gonna take away his power. So take that, Sinestro. So
there's Sinestro.
Yeah. So really the danger in this is that when they drop in, we need to be really ready with our special one.
Yeah.
And because special one doesn't have the same latency after it, we're going to be better. All right. Actually, the special 2 was just as good because it did it follow through.
Yeah, so we didn't get stunned.
Yeah. Because it hit. If it hadn't hit, I think we would have been in danger. Ooh,
Ooh.
like that. At least, you know what, though? He didn't have any power coming in.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, and it should finish off him and have it follow through for a back out, just like that. Ooh, she's stunned.
See, whenever I see batter up, I'm always... one part of me always imagines, you know, like cake batter or some other kind of like batter for deep frying, right? So it's like batter up is like...
Slather him in something and then toss him in the deep fryer?
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
I don't know, and I feel like that pun is not, like, above Harley Quinn.
It is not. Alright, so that's... Batman Ninja Batman is going to be a bit of a pain. Because he's geared to last a long time. He's not in first slot, so we're going to outnumber him for a while. So he's going to take a lot less damage. So I anticipate this is going to be one of those longer fights. I don't think we're going to lose, but I think it's going to be one of those longer fights. That'll drag on a bit for no particularly good reason, but that's not going to stop me from wanting to knock out Aquaman. So yeah, I think, or maybe, you know, I guess the other option is you could always force him to tag out and see if Batman comes in, but it's not often enough that it matters. Well, the good thing is, I mean, we'd have to tag out anyways, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
There we go. You see what I mean? It seems like it almost never triggers when Sinestro is doing it. Maybe it's treating force versus manual tagouts differently.
It might. But it still triggers, right? It's not like it doesn't trigger. It just triggers less often.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it just triggered. Yep, here she is.
Oh. Oh, that was fast. I think I'm going too fast.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of defeated the purpose of the entry hazard because it didn't actually...
Well, alright, so but to me, I can't not do it when I keep on getting the power back.
Yeah.
Like, that's... If I get the power back, it would be almost silly to give them a chance to do anything to me. Oh, there we go. That was one hit away from power, so let me just... Oh. Stop hitting me!
There we go.
Stop punching yourself. Stop punching yourself. There you go. Took away his power.
Oh,
nice.
Here's the entry hazard. See, so it's chirking like gangbusters in this fight.
Yeah.
What's different? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we could always go back to the footage and just count as a percentage how often that's happening. Perfect. Alright,
Yeah.
So we got our power back. That little bit of time that we ate up against his Astro Harness is not costing us. Because even though it doesn't cost us power, it also means that it's a time where he's not swinging and he's not generating power while he's protected by Astro Harness.
Piercing darkness. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No stun. No stun.
No.
Yeah, but look, he's going to take hardly any damage. Look, he took nothing.
Yeah. Swap out. There we go.
Yeah, this is the trolling Batman Ninja Batman, because he's got not a lot of offensive potential with his loadout. It's really just to minimize the damage that he takes, which you can see right here. Oh, he's stunned.
Ooh.
He's battered up.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and I guess part of it, to prove the point, I mean, we are pretty dependent on Tanty Totem. I sort of make the point sometimes that I'm not using Astro Harness on our team, even though we could, because you don't need it. When you're offense, when you're geared for offense, you do enough. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Barely not.
Yeah, it is really that the Killer Croc companion gear and the Gingold Soda and his passive, right?
Yeah.
He's outnumbered because we're that good. So he spent the fight pretty much outnumbered. Yeah, there you go. All right, so 1 minute and 15, but it's not bad overall. We're still rocking it pretty good. 2 ultimate runs, only took 20-something minutes.
So there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And we would also like to thank our patrons who are patient with us even though we are on hiatus this month. Yeah. And we'll be back very soon. Thank you to Eddie G, Console Peasant, and Edwin Felix. who are supporting us at the highest tier level, and also to iProfit, Daniel Simonson, Lane, and Sean Farrell, who also continue to support us.
Yeah, and we say that now it's possible that everybody's abandoned ship. Hopefully you guys are patient.
That's right.
So thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Komoda.